Good morning, Generations. Great to see you this morning. Hope you're doing really well. And this morning we're looking at the final part in this story of Paul and Silas and how they got in prison, but they praised and worshipped God in prison. And today is the last part, so that's good news because we get to do the miracle which happened. So here we are in Acts 16, and I want to go back to the title first of all, which my Bible gives the story, and that is miracles can come out of painful places. I don't know if you've ever been in a painful situation. I'm sure we've all faced things that have been difficult, things that have been hard, and that's good news for us this morning. Miracles can come out of those places. This was a dark place for Paul and Silas, but the miracle that happened couldn't have happened unless they had to walk through it, and they had to have hope in the middle of this difficult situation. And although the miracle happened fairly quickly for them, there was a time where they were waiting. There was a time where they were sat in it and they weren't at the end yet. And so we know that they praised in the middle of the night. And then in verse 26 it says, "Suddenly a great earthquake shook the foundations of the prison. All at once every prison door flung open and the chains of all the prisoners came loose." I love how Paul and Silas faced this dark time and they praised, and we talked about that yesterday. And then the miracle came. And one thing I love as well about this miracle is that the chains of all the prisoners came loose. God didn't just do a miracle and work through the situation just for Paul and Silas, but the other prisoners who were in there as well had something amazing happen to them. And isn't that the case when God works in our lives, and when God allows us to go through tough situations? He doesn't just do it for our benefit, although we can benefit from it. He also wants to use us to set other people free. There are other people who are in prison with us and who are in worse prisons than us and who are facing difficult situations. You know, one thing about being a Christian is we get to face these things with God. And there are people who are facing difficult times right now who don't have God. And I'm believing and praying for us, church, as we face things, whatever that might be, and whether it be in our personal lives and difficult things. Maybe you're holding out in hope and waiting for something that you're asking God for. But in that situation, as God works through your life, he can help to free other people as well. And so I love that happens. And I want to encourage you this morning that in the waiting time before the miracle, for us to stand in hope this morning, for us to make that declaration, as we've been talking about on Sunday, of hope, that we stand on the solid rock that is Jesus, and we can have that hope today. I remember in a tough season of my life when a couple of years back our little boy Benny was in hospital, and he was just 8 weeks old and really struggling. He'd sort of been in hospital for what had been a week in total when we got to the end of it, but there was a time, you know, through that week where we had to wait for the miracle to happen, where we had to wait for God to come through. And there was a song that I had on my heart at that time, and one of the verses says, "He's in the waiting, hold on to your hope as your triumph unfolds." And he's in the waiting. And I want to just say to you tonight that if you're this afternoon, if you're in the part where you're waiting for something to happen, where you need hope, that God can be in that place with you as we worship, as we are undaunted, as we stand on a solid rock that is our faith. Then God is with us in the waiting, and we can hold on to our hope as our triumph unfolds before our eyes. And as we do that, and as God helps us to break through, then I believe other people will be released as well. Other people who are prisoners in whatever way. God can use your situation today to be a ray of hope for them. So whatever it is for you, maybe you have some promises you're waiting on from God. Maybe you're just feeling a bit down and a bit fed up, God is with you in the waiting. Maybe you've got some dreams and some hopes today that haven't been fulfilled yet, but you know that God has promised them to you. I want to say that God is with you in the waiting. God is with you in this time, and you can hold on to his hope. And out of those dark places, those painful places, miracles can happen. It's great that we have a God. When we read the Bible and we read the stories, God has always turned it around. We have a God who does that. We have a God who works things together for good. So I want to encourage you this morning to hold on to your hope. Whatever season you're in, whether you're in a great season, whether you're hoping for some good stuff to happen, whether you're hanging on to God's promises, or whether this season, like for Paul and Silas, is a painful one for you, hold on to him, stand strong, be undaunted, and worship him. I hope this has been helpful to your church, and look forward to seeing you all and speaking with you all on Sunday morning.